Good afternoon, students. So today we will discuss about uterus. Okay, this organ is related to female reproductive system as it plays a vital role in reproductive process. As the uterus is able to bear the child, in uterus the baby, the fetus will grow and develop. That is why the uterus is vital organ of the female reproductive system. Let's see further. The uterus is hollow muscular pear-shaped organ. Okay, so uterus is a hollow organ. Okay, hollow cavity, it means there can be a place, there is a place or area or space present. Okay, it is called as hollow organ, and it is a pear shape. There is a fruit named pear. Okay, so you can see that the shape of pear is same as the shape of the uterus. Okay, it is a flattened and it is a situated as anterior posteriorly. Okay, it lies in pelvic cavity between the urinary bladder and rectum. Location of uterus is in pelvic cavity. Okay, and the place of the uterus is the urinary bladder is front of the uterus and there is a rectum at the behind of the uterus. So uterus is situated between the urinary bladder and the rectum. Okay, in most women it lies forward, anteversion, and bent forward, anti-flexion, almost at right angles to the vagina, so that anterior wall rests properly against the bladder below, forming the uterine pouch between two organs. Okay, so how it is placed? It is placed, it leans forward, okay, and bends forward. So that is why it gets the angle. Okay, it will get the angle with the vagina. Okay, so it can rest properly. Okay, and some part of the it will come against the bladder. So it will form vesico-uterine pouch, okay, between two organs. When the body is upright, the uterus lies in almost horizontal position. Upright. Upright means when you are in standing position, okay. At that time, uterus is in horizontal position, okay. Here are the measurements of the uterus. Let's see that there can be asked in your fill in the blanks. That is why you must remember these things. Okay, so it is about the length of the uterus is 7.5 centimeter long, width is 5 centimeter long, and wall are about 2.5 centimeter thick. Okay, and weight of the uterus is between 30 to 40 grams. Okay, the parts of the uterus are fundus, body, and cervix. The uterus contains these three parts. Okay, fundus, body, and cervix. Let's see that these three parts are there in the uterus. Okay, let's see the fundus. This is the dome shaped part of the uterus opening of the uterine tubes. Okay, fundus is the part which has a dome shape. Okay, you have seen the domes. Dome means a circular shape, half circle shape. Okay, that is called as dome shape. Okay, fundus is of dome shape. Okay, and the uterine tubes, you can also call it as a fallopian tubes. It is attached with the dome. Okay, body is the main part. It narrows inferiorly at internal os where it is continuous with the cervix. Inferiorly it is a narrow. Okay, and at internal os it continues with the cervix. Next we see cervix. It is also called as neck of the uterus. This protrudes through anterior wall of the vagina, opening into external os. Cervix go to the anterior wall of the vagina, okay, and at the opening of the external os. Structure, there are three walls, okay, of the uterus. It is composed of three layer tissue. Okay, three layers. There are mainly three layers of the uterus, which is perimetrium, myometrium, and endometrium. So perimetrium. This is peritoneum, which is distributed differently on various surfaces of the uterus. Okay, there is a peritoneum. Peritoneum is covering, okay, and it is distributed differently at the various surface, and anteriorly it lies over the fundus. Anteriorly, it goes to the fundus and the body, where it is folded to upper surface of urinary bladder, and that forms the vesicouterine pouch. What happens in the posteriorly? Okay, that will form the recto-uterine pouch, and you can say it as pouch of Douglas as well. Posteriorly, the peritoneum covers the fundus. Okay, the body and the cervix. Then it folds back to the rectum. And what does it form? Recto-uterine pouch. Okay, and in previous it was forming the vesicouterine pouch. Laterally, only the fundus is covered because the peritoneum forms a double fold with the uterine tubes in the upper free border. Laterally, what happens? Only fundus is covered. Why? Because peritoneum forms a double folding with the uterine tubes. Okay, so only fundus is covered laterally. This tube, this double fold is broad ligament. Okay, this double fold, what is the broad ligament? It is made up of that double fold which is formed by the peritoneum at its lateral ends, and it attaches the uterus to the side of the pelvis. Next is myometrium. It is the thickest layer of the tissue in the uterine wall. Okay, it can be asked here in your filling the blanks that which of the uterine layer is the thickest one. So the answer will be myometrium. It is a mass of the smooth muscle fiber interlaced with the areolar tissue, blood vessel, and nerves. And last is endometrium. Okay, this is the innermost layer of the uterus. This consists of columnar epithelium covering layer of connecting tissue containing a large number of mucus secreting tubular glands. It is richly supplied with the blood by spiral arteries, branches of uterine arteries. Okay. What does it contain? It contains epithelium, columnar covering. Okay. And it is a layer of connective tissue which contains large number of so many mucus secreting glands. Okay, and it is richly supplied with blood. Okay, using spiral arteries and uterine arteries. It is further divided in two layers. Okay, uterus is further divided in two layers. It is depend on their functions. That is why it is functionally divided into two layers. The functional layer is the upper layer, and it thickens and becomes rich in blood vessel in first half of the menstrual cycle. Okay, what in this, when the menstrual cycle's first half period is going on, it becomes thickened and gets rich in blood. Okay, what happens if ovum is not fertilized and does not implant? This layer is shed during the menstruation. Okay, so whenever the ovum is fertilized with the sperm, then the embryo will embed on the layer of the uterus. Okay, endometrium layer of the uterus. But when the ovum is not fertilized, thus this functional layer will shed off during menstruation period. And other layer is the basal layer. It lies next to the myometrium. Okay, the basal layer lies next to the myometrium. So there will be endometrium, myometrium, and the outermost layer. Okay, that is why the basal layer is directly connected to myometrium. It is next to myometrium and not lost during the menstruation. This layers is not lost. Okay, remember this. If they are asking you in the examination, this which of the layer of the endometrium will be shed off during the menstruation, the answer will be the functional layer. Okay, so which is the fresh functional layer is regenerated during each cycle. So during each cycle of menstruation, a fresh functional layer is generated, and again it's shed off, and again the freshly it is generated. The upper two-thirds of cervical canal is lined with mucous membrane. Lower down, however, mucosa changes, becomes stratified squamous epithelium, which is continuous with the lining of vagina itself. Okay, the upper two-thirds of the cervical canal, okay, it is lined with what? With mucous membrane, and in lower, which is the part is remaining, which does not count in the two-third. It in that mucosa changes and become stratified squamous epithelium, and it continues get attached with the vaginal, with the lining of the vagina. Okay. Now we will see the functions of the uterus. Okay. After puberty, endometrium goes through regular monthly cycle of changes, as we have seen in endometrium layer. The menstrual cycle under control of hypothalamic and anterior pituitary hormones. It goes under the control of the hypothalamic and anterior pituitary hormones. That is why the menstrual cycle occurs. This is the reason that why the menstrual cycle occurs and why the endometrium layers, the function layer is get shaded up. The menstrual cycle prepares the uterus to receive nourish and protect the fertilized ovum. Okay. The menstrual cycle prepares the uterus. Okay. The preparation of uterus is done by that. What will do? What it will do? It will receive, nourish, and protect the fertilized ovum. If the ovum is fertilized, then only that can happen. Otherwise, if the ovum is not fertilized, then again the menstrual cycle, menstrual period will occur. The cycle is usually regular, lasting between 26 to 30 days. That is the normal thing that everyone knows, that the cycle is regular and it lasts between 26 to 30 days. If the ovum is not fertilized, the functional layer of uterine lining is shed and new cycle begins within the short period of the vaginal bleeding. Okay, as we have seen that the in the half period of the menstrual, the functional layer will be enriched in the blood supply. After that, the uterine lining, that means the functional layer will be shed off. If the ovum is fertilized, the zygote embeds itself in the uterine wall. But what we have seen further before, it was all about the when the ovum is not fertilized. Now we will see what happened when the ovum is fertilized. So if the ovum is fertilized, the zygote embeds itself in uterine wall. The uterine muscle growth to accommodate the developing baby, which is called as the embryo during first 8 weeks. Okay, during first 8 weeks, the fusion of the sperm and ovum will be conducted as the embryo. After 8 weeks to birth, it will call as fetus. Okay, a fetus for remainder of the pregnancy. It is not only here, a fetus for the remainder of the pregnancy. Uterine secretion nourish the ovum before it implants in endometrium. And after implantation, the rapidly expanding ball of cells is nourished by the endometrial cell themselves. What happens that if when the ovum is not implanted in the endometrium, at that time that the secretion, uterine secretion helps that, and after that when it embeds in the endometrium, the endometrial cells will nourish that. Okay, this sufficient for only first few weeks and the placenta takes over thereafter. Okay, it happens only in first few weeks, then the formation of placenta occurs, and then after it will take over to the placenta. The placenta, which is attached to the fetus by umbilical cord. Okay, as everybody knows that the placenta is attached with the fetus with the using umbilical cord, is also firmly attached to the wall of the uterus. It is attached to the wall of the uterus as well. One, there are two walls of the placenta. Okay, one side is placental side and one side is maternal side and other side is fetal side. Okay, one side is maternal and fetus. Okay, the side which is attached to the uterus, it is called as the maternal side, and the side which is attached to the umbilical cord, it is called as fetus side. Okay, and provides the root. By growing, baby receives the oxygen and nutrients and get rid of its waste. Okay, what does it do? It will provide oxygen and nutrients and to the baby, and whatever the waste occurred by the baby, okay, it will take over by the placenta. The placenta also has an important endocrine functional during pregnancy. It secretes high level of progesterone, which prevents the muscular uterine walls from contracting in response to progressive uterine stretching as fetus grows. What does done where the fetus is growing? Okay, the muscular uterine wall will be stretched. Okay, and it will prevent any kind of contraction during this process. At the term means at the end of the pregnancy, the hormone estrogen, which increase uterine contractility, becomes the predominant sex hormone in the blood. Okay, and additionally, oxytocin is released from the posterior pituitary and also stimulates the contraction of the uterine muscle. Control of oxytocin is released by the positive feedback. Okay, for the contraction and stimulation of the contraction, oxytocin and estrogen are being released. During the labor, uterus forcefully expels the baby with the powerful rhythmic contractions. Okay, during the labor process, uterus will contract itself and expand. Lightly it will expand and it will contract. That is why it will facilitate the movement of the baby, and it will forcefully expel out the baby in the vagina. Okay, and it will help in the process of the birth of the baby. Okay, so it was all about the uterus. Okay, parts of the uterus, structure of the uterus, and function of the uterus. Thank you.